Let's take a second to talk about the Lions' staffing overhaul, shall we? Let's talk Lions. Thank you for liking, for commenting, and subscribing to the channel. This week has been insane. Like, hands down insane. Probably the most insane week that I have experienced as a Lions fan in quite some time. I mean, when you look at it, the fact that I put out a few videos, 3 videos just a couple days ago, all regarding coaching moves and hirings, and that's not what I'm used to at all, and I know it's not what you're used to. So let's just take a second, because obviously I've put out a video for most of the guys that have been hired, but I wanted to take 1 second to take a step back, if you will, to look at it from a bird's eye view and really look at all of the moves together, right? Because I've put out a video about Dan Campbell, about Brad Holmes, about Aaron Glenn, about Anthony Lynn, about Phipp. So like, there's all these individual videos, which I will throw up here, but looking at all of these hires, taking a step back and not looking at them individually, but looking at them as a broader scope. So first and foremost, our constant, our Desmond Hume, our 4'8", 15, 16, 23, 42 is being blown out of the water. For the last 12 years, we have had one single man at the helm pressing that button every 108 minutes, and it's been Matt Stafford. And as long as it's been Matt Stafford, when it came to hiring different coaches or trying to bring about a new method of coaching or a new method of drafting, of whatever you want to call it, there has been one constant. It has been Matt Stafford. He is Desmond Hume, right? Like, he has been the constant for the Detroit Lions in the last 12 years regarding different hires, different pieces coming in. We haven't been able to get where we need to go. We haven't been able to win the North. We haven't been able to win a playoff game. And Matt Stafford has been so vital to keeping us alive. And with Stafford wanting out of Detroit, with Stafford wanting out, with him being like, you know what, it's time, I'm done, it's time to move on, it feels like Oceanic 815 is crashing on our island called Detroit. But somehow, the entire plane is just filled with coaches, and like good coaches. And I guess we're going to have a football game against the others. Have I dug too deep into this analogy? No, I don't think so. You can always dig a little deeper if you know what I'm talking about, because you got to get in that hatch, John Locke. Man, I went there. The amount of hires that we have made that have been good, that have been like head-scratchingly, confusingly good is just, it's outlandish. To the point where, let me read a couple comments that I saw on my videos for the past week. I mean, if you take a second, you look at this guy's comment, right? Jake Bishop. Jake Bishop said, whoa, just coming right out. I've never seen them make this many sensible moves in my life. Like, the fact that a 30-year-old-ish man hasn't seen this many sensible moves, and like, that is the core of what he had to comment on my video. Or take Christian Howell, for example. It kind of feels like they're assembling the Avengers in Detroit. And these are just 2 comments out of the very many that I have read, all regarding the fact that Lions fans, Detroit Lions fans, are all in this state of confusion. We're all in this state of like, waiting for the other shoe to drop. Now, listen, obviously anything can happen and only time will tell. But from the outside perspective, from every person I've talked to be like, hey, have you seen the hires that we're making? Every person's like, yeah, they're actually like good hires. They're confusingly good. And like, listen, I'm an optimistic individual. I am, and I know I am. But I'm also a realist. And I have not been this excited for August to roll around in a long time. And I fully believe that this first season is going to be rough. I do. I don't know if we're going to win more than 3, 4, 5 games max. Really, I'm looking at it and I'm like, I'm happy if we win 3 looking at this schedule and looking at the pieces that we have. However, it's not about this year. I'm looking towards the future. And the fact that I'm excited for a season that I believe we might win 3 games in we are moving in the right direction. And I don't want to speak too soon because obviously these are just guys that we're hiring that nothing has transpired yet. We haven't seen any but it's so different. Every person I've talked to is like, this is not the same old Lions. And it's truthfully quite nice. With the hiring of Holmes and Dorsey comes future talent. With the hiring of Campbell comes belief and inspiration in the locker room. With Aaron Glenn comes the prospect of an actual defense. Something that, looking at last year, I didn't know if we would ever have ever again. I don't even know where to begin with that. But with Aaron Glenn comes the prospect of developing an actual defense. With Anthony Lynn and Staley comes an offensive scheme that's not built around Matt Stafford's arm, but rather it looks like we could have an actual running game here in Detroit. Maybe we get ourselves a quarterback who's a dual threat and can move and throw, something that Stafford couldn't do. An offensive scheme that isn't hinging upon the arm of Matt Stafford to come save us in the fourth quarter. With Phipp comes a successful special teams coordinator with an already established, well put together special teams. Mark DeLeon coming over from Chicago to be our linebackers coach. And with the retaining of Ben Johnson as our tight end coach comes another year of progress, of development for Pro Bowler TJ Hawkinson. All in all, taking a grand step back, we've looked at each individual. But when I look at this, I see Detroit, I see the Detroit Lions, I see Sheila actually caring, and I see them saying, we want to build out. We want to create something here. The fact that all these coaches are coming here and want to be a part of this, all in all, I'm so excited. I'm so excited looking at all of these. Like, as each guy kept getting hired, I was like, yeah, I like it. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I love it. And then finally, looking around, I'm just like, oh my goodness. This is not, August couldn't get here quick enough. The draft can't get here quick enough. Training can't get here quick enough. Man, I'm ready to go. I am so amped for what this season is going to hold, really for what the next few seasons are going to hold. Hopefully, a bright future for the Detroit Lions. Because all in all, we had Matt Stafford, a constant. And now that is removed, we are moving on from the Matt Stafford era. He was awesome and he gave us his all. He gave us everything we had, but we could never build around him. Could never build properly around him. Well, now we're blowing this whole thing up. Desmond Hume is out of the hatch, and it's time to move forward into a new era of Detroit football. And I truly hope that it is going to be as fun, as exciting, as exhilarating as this offseason, as this 1 week has been. It's been wild, but I am amped on the sensible moves. It looks like there could be a very bright future ahead of us. And I don't want to get too ahead of myself. I don't want to get too excited. Because as much as I am optimistic, I'm also a realist. And anything could happen. And that could go both ways. This could all fall apart. But right now, looking at the hirings, I'm choosing to believe the best from this situation. How do you feel about the hirings as a whole? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I look forward to reading it. And as always, I will catch you next time on Let's Talk Lions.